Week 4, instant reaction, David Toddcast. Steelers lose 27-24 to the Indy Colts in a game that I told you they were going to roll them. They didn't. This is a game the Steelers lost in the first half. Again, coming out slow offensively and I think crazily ineffective defensively as a poor performance by the Steelers defense, certainly as we've seen this year. But the first half, really bad. Go in down 17-3 and a valiant attempt at a comeback by the offense. Defense couldn't get the stops when they needed, couldn't get any crucial turnovers, and the Steelers get their first loss and drop to 3-1. So we're just going to bang out about 15 minutes now, and I'll come back with something more extensive tomorrow. But let's kind of start, top to bottom here with the offense, where, again, first snap of the game, Steelers ineffective. I think that's 3 out of the first 4 games this season where there's been an exchange problem. This time it was Zach Frazier stepping on Justin Fields' foot. Steelers kind of put themselves behind the 8 ball right out of the chute again. Remember last week against the Chargers, they go 3 and out their first 2 possessions. Behind the chains to start the game, not effective. They were ineffective the entire first half. And, one of the things that we've seen from the Steelers offense is they can't put things together for 60 minutes. And as good as they were in the second half, really slow start, as they say, put them behind the 8 ball and 3 points. It's just not good enough for your offense to put up 3.5 points. And you look at it, and the thing that was concerning to me is, I don't know what the game plan was for the Steelers offense. And, I tweeted this in the second half, and it's going to be a theme you're going to hear from me kind of from here on as Justin Fields is the quarterback. The reason Justin Fields can be an effective quarterback in the NFL is going to be if he plays the quarterback position more like Lamar Jackson than like Justin Herbert. Right? Justin Herbert's a capable guy, mobile guy when his ankle's not screwed up, who can run when necessary. But Justin Fields is a guy whose legs can be a difference maker. And we didn't see it until late in the third quarter today, where Justin Fields was running the ball, scores 2 touchdowns, has a couple escapes. And look, some of that's on him, but a lot of that is on Arthur Smith and the game plan. And the Steelers showed virtually nothing running the football, and it wasn't clear to me what the offensive game plan was out of the passing game either. The most effective thing we saw from the Steelers in the first half was late in the half when they're running the ball with Cordero Patterson. What a kind of revelation he's been. Obviously getting more opportunity here with Jalen Warren down today, but able to run the ball between the tackles. I think he finished with 6 carries for 43 yards, having 7 yards a carry with only a long of 12, which shows you that he was getting chunks of yardage every time he touched the ball. Unfortunately, hurt his ankle and wasn't available the rest of the game. But it just seemed to me that the Steelers didn't have an offensive game plan to attack the Colts in the first half when running between the tackles didn't seem to be an effective option. It was clear the Colts were going to attack the line of scrimmage against the Steelers, and Arthur Smith, no answer, and they weren't able to kind of improvise or change the game plan on the fly. And again, it took until the third quarter. The other side of the ball, same problem with the Steelers defense. They play soft zone, and Anthony Richardson comes out firing the ball and hitting his targets who were generally wide open. Now, I will tell you, the very first play of the game, the Steelers start the game on defense. The very first play of the game, have Anthony Richardson throw that ball 10 times, and the Steelers are going to come out on the positive side, I think 9 of them. I'm not taking anything away from the throw he made. It was a stunningly good throw. But to throw that over Joey, 20 yards downfield, I think it was a 37, 38-yard gain. So he threw it 25 yards downfield. He threw it on a rope this far over Joey Porter, who undercut the route. By the way, well, again, it looked to me like zone. I'll watch it again. But it looked to me the way Porter was coming. He's coming from the outside in. It looked to me like he's playing zone. And he undercuts the rope because he thinks he's going to pick it off. Which, by the way, I don't think that was a terrible assumption. and he undercuts it, doesn't get it. Pittman catches it, great hands catch, and turns the corner up the field. And the thing about Anthony Richardson, we talked about it before the game, he can make all the throws, but the very next throw he has is an 8-yarder into the flat, and he misses the guy by 3 yards. But he proceeded to pick apart the Steelers' zone for the rest of the half until he went out. He was running effectively. He was passing the ball effectively. Gets knocked out of the game with a hip injury, and Flacco comes in and does the same thing. I gave Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers defense a ton of credit last week for kind of what they've been able to do all season, and for showing very early in a game that they understand what the other team is trying to do, and they're able to adjust quickly to that and shut down the other team's offense. They've given up 6 points all season in the second half because they were able to make adjustments. But what we didn't see the Steelers make adjustments in the first half, gave up 17 points. Felt like, that was the difference in the game. And I really never felt like the Steelers got a handle on the Colts offense. Both lines of scrimmage, had trouble today. No question about it. So in the first half, the litany of mistakes that the Steelers made, defensively, look, Joey Porter, not his best day. You could have had that interception on the first pass. I don't know how he didn't make the interception on the second pass of the end zone, where it looked to me, I never saw a replay from the other side, the reverse angle. But Joey Porter, again, coming across, I think it was Flacco in at that time. I don't think he ever saw Joey Porter. To me, that hit him right in the hands. Drops it. And Patrick Queen, another rough day for Patrick Queen. Doesn't recover a fumble. So what do we see now in the first half? We see the offense not adjusting the game plan, not able to run the ball, the offensive line getting dominated. Justin Fields didn't have any time to pass. I don't think Spencer Anderson or Mason McCormick kind of did very well. Broderick Jones early in the game, he got beat clean on, I think, the first sack that the Colts have. On the defensive side, we haven't seen it so far this year. We saw it today. Defensive line got beat up. The Colts were able to run the ball effectively with Jonathan Taylor. 21 carries, 88 yards. Running away from TJ Watt. Again, Nick Herbig in there making his first start. Running at Cam, running at Nick Herbig. Cam's been very good this year. I think he finished with 6 tackles. But the Colts were able to run over the left side, their offensive line, and attack. And the Steelers, again, playing this soft zone. We haven't seen a lot of that. Colts picked it apart. So tons of credit to what the Colts did in the first half of that game. They go in 17-3. Steelers have their fingers crossed. Come out, move the ball a little bit. In the opening drive of the second half, have to punt. Defense gets a stop, and the Steelers start to show a little offensive identity in the second half. And, it's hard to say in a game where, the offense, the Steelers lose. They're a little bit desperate in the second half to score points, and they do. They come out and put up 21 points that, maybe you saw something special with the quarterback. But I do think, we saw something from Justin Fields today that we haven't seen. And, I think there is a fair bit to take away from this. Look, first time, 24 points, most points, 3 touchdowns. First time they've done that all season. He threw, again, a little bit of the playing from behind syndrome, but he threw for 312 yards, and it's the first time a Steelers quarterback has thrown for 300 yards since October of 22, so effectively over 2 seasons. So he finishes 22 for 34, a TD and no interceptions, and kind of 9.2 yards per catch. So he was throwing the ball down the field. And again, the Steelers started to do things, and using Justin Fields' legs gave them, they were able to move the ball much more effectively. Some of that, I think, was Fields understanding when to run and when not to run. And I think that comes with, it's probably been an adjustment for him in this new offense with Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, when to run, because I'm sure it's been drilled into his head. Look, passing is what you want to do. That is the first and second option. And then the third option is obviously to take off when you feel the pressure. I think he did a good job eluding pressure. I think generally he made good decisions. And I think he was accurate with the football. And you say, what have we seen from Justin Fields as we move along here? I think the most important thing that we've seen is, 1, accurate with the football, and making good decisions. And we saw that really in the second half today. And that's job 1, 2, and 3 for an NFL quarterback. Make good decisions with the football, be accurate with the football. That is your job in the NFL. And I thought he did that really well. And I really want to highlight the pass late in the game, Steelers down 10, when he hit Pickens down the sideline for 38-yard gain, I think, down that left sideline. When he dropped it in the bucket, you can't make a better throw than that. I thought the throws and the things he did with his legs, the touchdowns that he ran for, that was Justin Fields' best half of football. Unfortunately for the Steelers, is we continue, this was a problem a lot of last season as well, we continue to see them play one good offensive half of football. In Denver, we saw it. In San Diego, we saw it. A little bit better in San Diego, a little bit closer to 60 minutes. But today, clearly, nothing in the first half. Didn't do anything. Did move the ball a little bit in the opening drive of the second half. But really good the last 20 minutes of this football game offensively. Lots to talk about kind of the receivers. I think better in this game. George Pickens, the fumble, that's a careless mistake. We've seen these occasional mistakes from Pickens. Dropped a pass in the end zone that was going to hit him right in the face. But generally, I thought Pickens had a good game, made some good plays, made a couple excellent hand catches. One drop, I think that's the first we've seen. They were going to inexplicably call him out of bounds on that nice toe tap on the sidelines. Fortunately, they got that one correct eventually. But we saw the Steelers use Darnell Washington. Nice to see that. We saw Van Jefferson, and I think probably only targeted 2 times. Let me double check that. 3 times with 2 catches. Finally, we saw a screen pass from the Steelers. Look, when the defense is bringing the heat like that, how about calling the occasional screen pass? I don't remember an effective screen pass. Not too many last year. I don't remember one this year. Najee went for 32 on that screen. That was a big play late in the game. So, second half on the defense from... look, again, not great. They weren't able to get pressure on Flacco until really late in the game. And his conversion of those 2 3rd and 10s in the drive early in the fourth quarter, where stood in the pocket, Steelers weren't able to get pressure, and he completed those. Those were killers because the Colts went down, scored on that drive, and end up being the margin of victory, that 27-24, that one put them up 10, and the Steelers weren't able to recover. Coaching, not great in this game. I don't think either side made adjustments quickly enough to adapt to what the Colts were doing. So kind of C- type stuff there. I will give Mike Tomlin credit for his use of timeouts. You've heard me rail on him about clock management endlessly for his clock management. But much to my surprise, with about 6.5 minutes left, he used a timeout on defense. Very shrewd. The Colts would have run off 30 to 40 seconds before they punted the ball away. Remember, always, you want to use your timeouts on defense because you can control the clock on offense with spiking the ball, with incompletions, but you can't control the clock on defense. So a good one there. And then I think the other one he used with 2:39 left, and then the Colts threw the ball on 3rd down. I think that was a mistake there by the Colts in terms of their clock management. But Mike, very effective, I think, with his timeouts. Now, we can get into the last drive where the Steelers had a chance to go down and kick a field goal to tie or get a touchdown to win. I love the first down. They get 9 yards. Fields does. They run again. Van Jefferson does some nice things. The pass to Najee on the sideline. Look, that's a mistake by Najee. I understand what he was trying to do, right? He had just seen earlier the Steelers, Van Jefferson, I think it was, who caught a ball on the sideline and turned it in and got an extra 10 yards. I think Najee caught that ball, figured the defender thinks he's going to step out of bounds, so he'd take it inside and get 10 more yards. Unfortunately, defender played it perfectly, stopped his forward progress, which was key here. When he stopped his forward progress, then got out of bounds. That doesn't count as electing to go out of bounds. So the clock continued to run there with about just under a minute to go. So look, I'm willing to debate, endlessly whether that was the time to use the Steelers' 3rd and final timeout or not, because you have to convert that fourth and 10 play coming up, or the game's over, right? So it is at that point. It's obviously the most important play of the game. But, what if if the flip side of the argument is if you convert the first down, you throw it over the middle of the field, you get 15 yards, you can run up and spike it, or you can call timeout and then have 25 seconds left with a first down to figure out how you want to attack things and whether, you want to try a field goal at the end of the game. Look, it didn't work out. They didn't complete the pass and end up turning the ball over on downs. The other play that was significant in that drive was clearly the first down play where they lose 12 yards and it's 2nd and 22, where Zach Frazier snaps the ball and Justin Fields isn't prepared for it. Zach Frazier's been excellent this season. He's had a couple bad snaps. That one, loud crowd noise, that is 100% on Zach Frazier. If you look at my Twitter feed, by the way, please follow me on Twitter at David M. Todd. You'll see just an 8-second clip of Mason McCormick is looking at Frazier like this. There's a tap to go there. He doesn't get tapped. Frazier snaps the ball. Obviously, Fields is looking to his left, hits him right in the face mask. Perfect snap. That's right where you want the ball. If you're a quarterback, right here, you can keep your eyes up and look at the defense. So perfect snap. Just was bad timing. Frazier said after the game, apparently, that he was tapped. He wasn't tapped. He's not lying. He's not making excuses. That's the nature of late in the game in an opposing stadium. A lot of crowd noise. Just they got confused and they screwed it up. So Steelers lose 27-24. I think there was something to be said for a good offensive performance in the second half, but still, they haven't been able to put together 60 minutes yet. Referees, look, the ups and downs with referees in every game. I think the call on Minka was horrifically bad, but that is a bang-bang play where the referees are used to seeing DBs. It's been drilled into them, right? It's been drilled into them every time. Defenseless receiver, DB hits him on a play like that, you throw the flag. Well, the receiver wasn't defenseless. He was able to protect himself. Minka got his head out of the way, hit him with his shoulder, contacted with his shoulder, nothing helmet to helmet, no intent, he's pulling away. Clearly the refs missed the call. There's no other way to talk about it. And it was a significant play in the game. So that was a killer. Here we go. Reason they lost. One, offensive line got overwhelmed in this game. Didn't do the job for 3 quarters, really put themselves in a hole. Defense, not able to adjust. They got out physical for the first time this year, played a lot of zone, which both quarterbacks picked apart. Weren't able to do anything in the first half that was important when they had a chance to make 3 different turnovers. And in the second half, on important third downs, they couldn't get off the field. And 3, the Steelers lost the turnover battle, 2-0, once deep in Colts territory, where they're getting at least 3 points. The other on I think a questionable call. I think Fields was down and had control of the ball, his elbow down, and got touched. But for the second week in a row, they lose the turnover battle, 2-0, probably cost them points, and the 3 points were the difference in the game. So we'll come back tomorrow with some further thoughts. But the Steelers drop from 3-0 to 3-1. And they'll take on the Dallas Cowboys at Acrisure Stadium, 8:20 next Sunday night. Thanks for listening and watching the David Toddcast.